Hi, my name's Steve. Welcome aboard my narrowboat home, Moorland Rose. Please join me as I take a slow boat through Britain. Having gathered supplies, it's time to do the final leg of this canal into Huddersfield. Before casting off, I have walked the short distance to the next lock and set it ready. The paddle gear on this lock could really use some grease. It's such a shame that the whole of this beautiful canal is such hard work. I realise that the number of locks, 74 in all, could put a lot of boaters off cruising this canal, but the physical effort involved doesn't do it any favours. With nowhere to get back aboard Moorland Rose if I bow haul her out of the lock, I have to resort to climbing down the lock ladder. I've already walked down to the next lock, which you can see in the distance, to get it ready to steer straight into. I am not risking getting grounded on the shallow sides again. The only problem with walking down to prepare this lock is it means me walking back up to the previous lock to close the gates. A good job it's a pleasant day. I take pride in working locks efficiently when solo. As you can see, I had dropped the towpath side paddle when I'd finished preparing the lock, but with no easy way of crossing to it, I left the offside paddle up. Now, as Moorland Rose glides slowly into the lock, I can hop off and close the offside paddle before crossing back over the stern of the boat to close the top gate. It's not getting any easier. Some of this paddle gear is incredibly hard to wind up. With the paddles up, I can take a moment to rest on the balance beam. Fortunately, there are some steps at the foot of this lock to enable me to climb back up to close the gates, while the boat stays in the mouth of the lock. With 2 locks out of 8 done, I enjoy the canal's own secret world. What better way to spend my day? This is the first boat coming the other way I have seen since before Stanage Tunnel. Luckily he'd spotted me in the narrow section and waits for me to emerge. With the problems I've been having grounding at shallow lock landings, nosing into the top gate is the alternative solution. It needs to be done carefully so as not to ram into the gate. The bow is nearly 60 feet away and I can't actually see it because of the roof line, so gently does it. Even though that boat has just come through this lock, leaving it full, the bottom gates leak badly enough that I have to let some water in to equalise the levels. we get closer to Huddersfield, the trees give way to a more industrial landscape, but we can still take time to enjoy the surroundings. The narrow section leading up to this lock is actually the aqueduct over the River Colne. Some of the paddle gear on the canal network have anti-vandal mechanisms fitted, which are normally unlocked with an anti-vandal key, also known as a handcuff key like this. This lock though, because I don't have it with me, uses the CRT key, normally used for services such as Waterpoint and LSAT. How more awkward can this canal get? These gate paddles are getting no easier. This canal really does need more boats using it. With the railways generally following the routes of the earlier canals, sites like this impressive viaduct are fairly common from the canal. Immediately after Paddock Footlock, the canal makes a sharp right turn underneath the railway viaduct. There used to be a small branch off the canal here that was the loading arm for, I believe, Longroyd Mill. I was intrigued by these mooring bollards set into the wall on the offside of the canal. There doesn't seem to be any way of getting off the boat if we were to tie up here. With the towpath running alongside the canal underneath the bridge, I can use my preferred method and haul Moreland Rose out of the centre line and leave her in the narrows whilst I close the bottom gates. Even though we are getting close to the centre of Huddersfield, the canal is still a pleasant corridor into the town. This section of canal was completely rebuilt during the restoration. When the Huddersfield Narrow Canal was reopened in 2001, it was necessary for it to run in a tunnel beneath the yard of Sellers Engineering. So that the canal could be lowered, Block 3E was relocated to this spot. Sellers has now moved to a new site, and as part of Huddersfield's waterfront development, the canal was returned to the surface, and the new 2001 lock is no longer used. Block 3E was moved back to its original position. Block 1 East needs to be booked as the paddles are locked, so as I'm about 30 minutes away I get on the phone. Unfortunately I spent so long organising passage through the lock and I left the GoPro running, I ran out of my memory card, so I will have to leave you here and do the last 3 locks by myself. Sorry about that. Please leave any comments below. No need to tell me I'm a numpty for not stopping the camera, I already know that. But give me a thumbs up, it'll make me feel better. Until the next vlog, when I leave Huddersfield and the narrow canals behind, take care and stay safe. See you soon.